What is up, everybody? I'm Nova coming at you with another one. I figure we'll have a look at Bitcoin and what it's been doing lately. We've had the dump and we've been testing support, and we're just looking weekly here. Let me turn the MACD APO off. And on the weekly, we blazed through I believe it's the 21 and the 34, straight down to the 50 and found support on the 50. In fact, uh, over the last 3 weeks, we've been testing support on the 50. We can see if we stretch this out. Well, I can't stretch it out any more than this. The two big red candles with the bounce off the 50, we've got a bit of indecision here. And I have a feeling we're going to be rejected by the 21 again, and we may actually be stuck in this zone consolidating. Um, there would be extreme fear and blood in the streets when we go down to the 100 if we were to go down all the way. And it's very close to the previous all-time high. So if we were to go down there, major resistance should become major support in the future, right? But the RSI is steadily going down and we're below the 50. So I would consider anything below the 50 kind of like not healthy. You can see that every time we cross that. Oops. You can see that every time we cross that, a major dump seems to happen. Not so much here, but you can still see like there was a definite mini capitulation down to the 50 week and basically the bear cycle when we were skirting and finding resistance at the 50 on the RSI. Looking at APO MACD, it's quite delayed, but it can kind of give us a picture of what the general consensus is. And I'm just trying to... So we can see that arcing effect of the APO and MACD. I kind of changed my settings a little bit. I'm always trying to find the holy grail. APO, I've been bouncing. Oh, sorry. I changed the fast length of the MACD to 10, and the APO is 10 over 21. And I keep going back between 10 and 12 so I can check for lag, and you can see how things are here. We're going to be testing that zero cross to see if we see a bounce on the weekly, and this will, we'll see a bounce if we see more buying, but if we see a continued sell-off, I think we're going to continue consolidating. I won't call it a bear market. It's kind of like a mid-season, a mid-cycle top for me, because we rounded off. This was not a parabolic run like previous. Pretty similar, but it's more like a bounce, and then I think our parabolic run is coming up soon. If we go to monthly, okay, so we had this run up, right? Rounded off, came back down, found support, and then ran off again, a double peak. And I think we may see a double peak again. And I'm thinking we're going to see a diverged peak, and then it's over. So I think we're going to maybe test the 50 on the monthly and then head up to our final. But we are about to flash bearish or consolidation. And I think, well, like if you look here, we had the top 1, 2, 3 months till we saw a bottom for five months before we saw that final run. Over here, It's debatable. You can argue where it is, but I think at least 3 months before we saw that final run. Um, and then this lower high, I think this kind of skewed things a little bit, in my opinion. But you can see how price is so far up above, and price is basically just trying to realign itself with time, and we're going to be testing. So maybe the 21 month at maybe around 26. As time goes by, we'll see if we get the bounce and then the continuation. So our top was technically right there. So I think maybe this will be either this month or next month. I think will be the bottom before we start to run up again. So we'll see that consolidation bull start forming, gaining steam, a slight rejection with a bounce somewhere for support. If we break out above, then support would likely be, what is that, like 57 or so. We really need to get above 42K. I think that's going to be the issue. So with APO MACD on the daily, as you can see, go to bars, you can see all the low momentum candles that are forming. We just found resistance on the 200. So, I mean, technically, price below the 200 in resistance, that would be the start of the bear market. And I think this will be a consolidation period. And lots of death crosses as we go down. So price really has to combat against a lot of past history. And we just have trend lines that we need to break, right? So we're going to see compression on the RSI bottoming out before we see a pop to the upside. APO MACD, same thing. We're grinding down, and we need to show a red consolidation and then a higher green, so a higher low. We do have higher lows at low volume on the daily. So we're going to have to wait and see what this weekly candle plays out. Go back to and turn this off. So what's the general direction right now? It's down, and now we're going sideways. So we have a higher possibility of a continuation of trend. I was looking at 20, but the 100 here around 24 might actually save us. So I think if we were to go down to 24, there would be a huge and violent purchase happening down here, because a red engulfing candle, that might be the final capitulation. And we'll probably see a volume candle bigger than in history. So what does that mean? This one was pretty big. Where's the volume? Yeah, 3 million Bitcoin. So maybe it'll be 5 million. Is that possible? So that's the bearish argument. I was thinking a little lower, but this might actually help us. So we will see a potential down around 24. Now, this consolidation, if we are close to a bottom, and I do like the bounce at 29, we could see us, getting dojis as we grind up to test the 21, and that is 38, and the 21 here is 43.6. So we really need to break, the 40K mark so that we can start testing up above. I just don't think that's going to happen yet. We'll have to wait and see if we bottom out here. Don't really have much else. Let's have a look at what's happening today. BTC USDT. So that was our original rollover while everybody thought we were going to the moon. There was a lot of euphoric comments, and that was worrying me. And now that we dipped down below, we can see that, we can almost say that this is where, this is where price might get stuck for a while as we consolidate and create that consolidation cup or bowl or what have you. So I don't think this bounce is going to be all that violent. I think we're going to go sideways for a bit. So June, maybe mid-July, we might see more bullishness. But even the news that pops up on my cell phone, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Um, a lot of negative news about Bitcoin, about regulation, about being banned. There was even one about a Bitcoin miner who got busted, and it had the equipment was seized not because they were mining, but because they were stealing electricity, and the police thought it was a grow op or anyway. So yeah, that's where we're sitting. So we can see the consolidation that happened here. We're going to probably see a repeat, and right there, we had resistance here in the past. We may see resistance here in the coming future as we consolidate. And then when we pop through, the support level will be, 39K or so. So when we break 42, I think we'll come down to 39.40. And then we'll probably start seeing some good news. So far, we've done a 54% drop down to the wick. And if we were to test the 100, 62, like that's right along the 618, right? So that's about just under 25K. And that would put us within this zone here of this candle. And you can see we had wicks on both sides. So this is an area of indecision that happened in the past. If we see a massive wick come all the way down to 19, that's going to be short-lived. I don't see that being a continuation. So that would end up being a Hail Mary buy, and the odds of your order getting filled might be a little difficult. Yeah, so rounding off effect, getting tired, trying to find support somewhere. Right now we are seeing higher lows, and we're about to test this high, which is 40 and a half. So if we see 41, that could be some good news for the week. And the week is just starting off. So, but on the daily, we were resisted by the 200, and we will likely be resisted one more. That will create more fear, and we may have work our way towards a double bottom, right? This was all snatched up. The direction is down, and odds are, if we consider this a flag, the argument would be a repeat, a continuation, and that looks pretty scary when we're on log, right? And that is the previous all-time high, I believe. Yeah, previous all-time high. So if we were to hit that, I think we would see a, where are you? There's the previous all-time high. That will scare a lot of people out of their coins. And that is probably the time when you should be absorbing and buying back in as people are capitulating. So when there's fear, the objective is to always try and do the opposite. So we won't look at this point here. We'll try and consider this as a scare tactic and a consolidation. But we can see our resistance points that we've got to overcome, right? The 200 plus this trajectory down here. In fact, let's try. So from top to bottom, we can see this movement, resistance on the GAN fan, finding support here. This is kind of make or break. We either have a breakdown, or if we do have a run, up around 42.7, that's kind of like where we need to be. And the intersection of the 200 is kind of heading that way. That's why I think we're still going to consolidate. But I'm thinking we're coming up on some heavy resistance and a potential push to the downside again. So while this would be the calculation, I wonder what this one would be like. Let's see. Move this guy over here. Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's kind of pointing down here, which is why I'm favoring the consolidation bull. I think we need to stay within this block here. Weekly, yeah. So got a bit of a wick. The previous week was a big wick, so the argument was more down pressure, and the bulls are starting to argue the 50 week is the place to go. We have technically bounced or closed above the 50 3 weeks in a row, so this could be a strong point to bounce off of, which is 33.7 ish. And if we keep continuing that way, then we'll probably have enough steam to break here, but I don't think we'll break that anytime soon. We may need like maybe 2 or 3 weeks to break above that. So I'm starting to repeat myself again. I'll end the video there and clean things up for the thumbnail. And the zone continues. Trade safe.